Hi and welcome. This is Patty from pspapercrafts, and today we are going to make an Eclipse card, and it's actually a slim line. This one is a slim line. The other one that we'll make today is not, but it's called an Eclipse card, and the idea is that you cut out something. I use letters. You can use a shape, a flower, whatever, from the paper you're using. This is designer series paper, but you can also stamp a layer and do the same thing. And then you raise up the letters. You cut it right out of the layer, raise up the letters, and you've got this picture all the way across, but you've got the word happy and then birthday. The letters are raised. Isn't that cute? So this is the silly old bear paper again. I just love it. And then on the inside, this is a big card. The inside is hip hip hooray. And this slim line does fit into a business size envelope. So it will actually fit right into this with plenty of room. Okay, so this is your, I think it's a 10-inch business envelope. So this is a card we're going to make using different products, and we're going to make a regular A2 size card, not a slim line. But isn't this cute? I think I'm going to give this to my grandson, although I keep making cards that I only have one grandson. So I'm going to give him a lot of birthday cards maybe, or give it to someone else to give to him. So we are going to use so let me show you the products I use for this, sorry. So this is the silly old bear paper, and all I did was I cut a piece of this, and then I used the, let me get them. They're kind of hard to manage. They're huge. These are the party alphabet dies, and they're huge. I have to figure out, they're too big for the magnets unless I put about 4 magnets in it. But these are the letters. So this is an N, and this is an N. Well, this is an N. I had it upside down, right? So the cutting blade is down. So there's all kinds of, all the letters, and then there's, you know, an ampersand. There's some other things. So you get 2 sheets of all these letters. There's some periods and some, I don't know if those are parentheses or less than, greater than. So there's all kinds of things in here. But this is an amazing set to have because the letters are so big. I wanted to do Keegan, that's his name, but I could really only fit 5 unless I went a little bit longer, and then I thought I wouldn't have an envelope. So I think 5 is probably as big as you can go with letters, with this size letter. If you have smaller letters, of course, you can do something with those. And then I have the birthday and the inside hip hip hooray from this balloon festoon. So I just did the birthday, and this is spread apart, so I didn't even have to cover this with masking tape. I just made sure I inked from the edge this way to get the birthday. And this is actually very vanilla, which I have hardly used in a while. I used to use very vanilla more often. So that is that card. I have the letters out for the next card. We are going to make a masculine card, and we're going to have dad. So we're using the Waterside Retreat. So it could be Father's Day, or it could be birthday, or whatever for dad. So dad is going to be the letters because we're going to make a smaller card, and we only have 3 letters. So this paper is fun. I decided that I would use this sheet, and I haven't cut it yet because I want to show you what I'm going to do. So the Waterside Retreat, this is the sheet we're using, and I like this scene. Okay, so this is 4 by 5.5, so I'm going to cut it a little bit on each side to get it 4 by 5.25, because that's the size I want. So I have it's a layer on a A2 size card. So maybe I'll cut it this way first. I'm just going to cut this right along the line, so I'm looking at that right in here with my cutting blade. Okay, and if you cut off a little bit, you know, if you're not exact, you can trim it down. And then we'll do the same thing. We just want to cut this one out. Who used to say that? Cut it out. That was on a sitcom. I don't know who. Long time ago. So you have these. This you can even cut and have this. And this I think is really pretty. This is what our tutorial. So I'm part of a tutorial group where we there's 12 demonstrators, and we each make a card from a suite. This month, May, is the suite Waterside Retreat. And if you purchase from me $35 or more, I send that 12 projects tutorial to you for free. Otherwise, you can purchase it from my website. And it's really great. So it gives you ideas. So this is 5.5, as I said. So we're going to take 1/8 off on each end, and that should make it 5 1/4, which is the size I want. Is that right? Well, no, I guess I took 1/4 off. Well, it doesn't matter because it's not, it doesn't matter on this one. So you really want it by 5 1/4 by 4. All right. So that is the first step. Then we want to get our letters. Now, since we're using 2Ds, I wanted to have some kind of letter to help me fit and arrange and get the right place for this, right? So on this one, I had 2 P's and I didn't know where to put the Y, so I had an R in here. You just can't cut it with the R, right? But you want to just get the placement. So we're going to do the same thing. Let me get my machine, and then we'll get this all set up. So that will make sense, I think, in a minute when I actually cut it. But you want to make sure, I mean, with the last letter, it's not as important as the P in the middle. So I think I actually did H-A-P-Y, and then I had the R in there just to get it lined up. And then I took the R off before I cut it. So we are going to... And I'm not going to put anything else on this. This one I wanted to make sure I had enough room on the bottom for birthday, so I'm a little bit toward the top. But this one I'm going to center because I'm not going to put anything else on this. So I hope you can see this okay. So I want to use this R just to get an idea, both edges. So that looks about right. Make sure the tops and bottoms are okay. And then I'm going to take this off, and then we'll run it through again with the other D. Does that make sense? All right, and then we want to put this in and down, and I'm going to really squeeze it because I don't want it to move. You could put some kind of post-it tape on them if you want to make sure they don't shift. And we have to make sure we save the center of the D and make sure this is the first D. So I'm going to put that aside. We have this outside D, and then we have the A, and we have the inside of the piece of A. We want to keep that. And let me get my tool here, and we'll just push this through. And isn't that cool? Leave it on the back and put that there. Now we want to do the other D. So we're just going to put this right here. Line it up. I think it might be a little narrow over there, but we're good. And just run it through again. This is such an easy card, and I really think it turns out so fun. I think people would be like, wow, how did she do that? So let's get these. We want to save this inside of this D with that. All right, so it looks kind of funny, but it'll come together. I promise. So let's put those aside. And then I decided to use, there's a lot of different colors in this paper, and I was trying with Misty Moonlight and Balmy Blue and Pool Party, and I decided to go with Azure Afternoon. So this is going right here. Okay, doesn't look like much, I know. So let's put this down. I'm going to use some liquid glue, And all the instructions, I mean, there's not a lot of measurements here, but I'll have them in a project sheet. And there's going to be a link below the video that shows you, yeah, that's really narrow here. I should have shifted over a little bit, but it will be fine. So there's a project sheet below the description. You might have to hit more to see it. There's a bunch of links, my online store, my class subscription, a bunch of things. So now we want to put these in, but we're not going to adhere them yet, but we want to get the inside of the D in the right place. So we'll lay that in. We'll put this in. And this is why it's important that you get the right D for this. And then we'll take this part out. Okay. And then we'll do the A. We'll put the A in. See how it's coming together? We'll put a little bit of glue on this. I just want to get the tip. And everybody uses their silicone mat. Sometimes it's just easier for me to use my fingers. So we're going to fit that right inside of the A and pull that out. And we want to pull it out right away, just in case some of the glue oozes. We don't want to get it stuck. And then this is this D. So see how this plant goes with this D. Super simple. And even this looks good without popping up the letters, I think. Now that we know what all the letters are with their middles. Whoops. Sometimes the liquid glue does shift a little bit. All right. So I mean, on this, it's cute. I think I wouldn't leave it like that, but you could. Depending on what is back behind here, it might be more fun if you had something else back there. So now we're going to take our dimensionals and we are going to add them. And these are nice big letters, so you could probably get away on the most part with the big dimensionals. I did cut some of them in half or use the edges just to get some of the places, because you don't want your dimensionals to show through. So like this, maybe, we'll see. We shall see. And you want to make sure the flat side, sometimes it helps if you don't have any points going out. It makes it a little narrower. So this is all going to work. Some of the letters are narrower, and you can use, you know, just a half a dimensional or the edge or a mini. All right, so then we'll take off the backs and fit it in. Make sure again you have the right D for here. When you have two letters, you have to make sure that it fits in. Like on this one, you wouldn't want this P over here because you'd miss Piglet's head. Don't want to have a headless piglet, right? Oops. These are all done. And then you just want to fit it in so it wraps right around that. Isn't that cool? And again, you could stamp a whole background and then do this. It doesn't have to be a pattern paper. It could be something you stamp. It could be any kind of a picture. But it could just be like a, you know, a floral background or something like that. It doesn't have to have a scene. And I have made these in the past, and I did one like that with flowers. And it was really, really nice. So I'm just trying to make sure I'm not over the side. I think this is a little close. Sometimes these are hard to pick up, but if you get it right away, you can pick them up. Okay, I did take the backing off of that because it was kind of in the way. All right, so we have our A. Whoops, one more. One of these days I'm going to color the backgrounds so I can tell. See this one? I can see it. I don't like that. I'm going to pull it off. If you can't pull it off, you can maybe cut it down a little bit. Just kind of shift it in a little bit. That didn't work. Ah. I'm going very slow and gentle. Because what happens is if you ruin the A on this, it'd be very hard for you to get another A to fit exactly this scene. So, know what I mean? Like if you accidentally rip this, you'd have to do another whole sheet, do the whole thing over again. So, you want to be careful of that. So let's see how this D is. If we can get the D's. I'm going to just put it up here so I can see better. Sometimes the white on white makes it hard. So we'll put one here. And here. The weather, I always talk about the weather. It was 90, I think it was 93 degrees yesterday, and today it's in the 60s. So strange. I'm going to cut one of these sides. One of these days we'll have regular summer and I'll be complaining that it's too hot. But right now I feel like bring on the heat. All right. I visited a friend this morning who had a heart attack. She leads our Bible study, and it was good to see her. She's been out for a few weeks. She's elderly, and it really, I think, knocked the socks off of her, so she's recovering. But it was nice to visit her. Of course, I bought her a card. Of course. There we go, Dad. So you can put Happy Father's Day down here, but I think this is fine as it is as a front. All right, so now on the inside, let me get an inside layer. So on the inside, I thought we would do the stamp set that comes with this, Relaxing Waterside. And there are dies that also come with this that cut out these Adirondack chairs that are amazing. So I want to put Relax, Today is Your Day. You could put Happy Father's Day or Have a Great Birthday, depending on what you're making this for. And I thought I would put some of this grass on it. So we're going to do the grass in Old Olive. And this is the larger one. There's two sizes, but I thought this would be good just at the bottom. I'm going to do it again. I'd rather have it over a little bit. I feel like I lost some of it there. That's the beauty of not sticking it before you stamp it. And then we'll do Azure Afternoon for the sentiment. And I love this color. This is just a pretty blue. It's I'm going to do, you could do Relax, It's Your Day, or It's Your Day, Today is Your Day, Relax, or Relax, Today is Your Day. I'm going to do Relax, Today is Your Day. But it's just kind of a bright, happy blue. I love my blues and greens. And if you wanted to put a bird there or something like that, you could. So that's it. Very simple card today, right? And this has the mistake on the back, but nobody will ever know. Only the people watching the video, right? And you, if you make a mistake. And I did put one of these natural matte dots, earthy matte dots on here. I didn't think it needed anything else because I feel like it's kind of busy, but maybe we should put something on here. We have these Sunset Sparkle sequins, which I think might be nice. Do we have something else? What are these? These are sparkle. Oh, these are the same thing. I guess I'm going to go with them because I'm drawn to them. And we could put any, I don't know about the orange. We could put this or this. And where are we going to put them? That is the question. So let's go with my typical, let's put one up here, a big and a little. And then a big and a little here. Do we need another one? That's an even number, but I think that's good. That's good. All right, I know I'm not going along with what you're supposed to do, odd numbers and all of that, but I like it. So, Dad, relax, today is your day, and then happy birthday, hip hip hooray. So, Eclipse cards. Next week, this is my calendar, so this is from my calendar, the 22nd, make an Eclipse card. Next week, we'll make a double accordion gatefold card, and then we'll have to come out with our June calendar. So if you want this calendar, it's an inspiration calendar that I send out to my email subscribers. And again, where the links are below the description, there's a link to sign up to subscribe to my email. And I send this out each month. And it's just ideas. I always do a Friday video. And then I do color combos, sketches, things like that, that you can see on my blog or my Facebook page. And then this area is just ideas and reminders to send out your Mother's Day or birthday cards, things like that. All right, so I hope you enjoyed these, and I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you next Friday.